So today we're going to be visualizing the connections between univariate models and multivariate models. And we're going to be looking at 4 videos in order to do this. This first video is going to look at what a regression plane is and very briefly what the equation is, and to also refresh your memory on what a univariate regression is. The second 2 videos are going to connect the multivariate model to the univariate model, first using trump shift as predicted by education, and the third video is going to be looking at trump shift as predicted by income. Now that's going to also implicitly involve education, but we're going to get to why that is in a minute. The last video is going to look at marginal effects. Namely, it's going to look at what the coefficients in a multivariate model mean visually. So in this multivariate model, we have negative 0.000013 as the coefficient on median income and a coefficient on high school degrees of 0.344. So we're going to discuss in the last video what those two things mean. But first, in this video, we're going to talk about this regression plane. So this is a multivariate plane. It's a multivariate plane defined in 3 dimensions based on 2 variables, income and high school degrees, and we're predicting the shift of each county towards Donald Trump relative to Mitt Romney in 2012. And you can see that this equation defines this blue transparent regression plane. This is the best fit regression plane for the data. So just like you had a best fit regression line for 2 variables for predicting shift towards Trump based on median income, you also have a best fit plane that is based on 2 variables, education and income, as they predict the shift towards Donald Trump. This plot is available at plotly/mfoster1/3, and I'm going to go ahead and show it here. Now, what's going on in this graphic, we've got 4 lines specifically, and we'll be discussing what each of those means in this next 4 videos. I've got 3D scatter points plotted in this graph, and I'm going to go ahead and take out these lines because they don't mean anything yet to you. And instead, we're just going to see that, hey, we can swivel around this regression plane and look at it from all different directions. You can take out the scatter points if you want and just look at the plane. It's a kind of cool graph. You're going to be creating these in your labs, and you may be able to publish some of them to Plotly yourself. This particular file that we're using right here is actually too large for Plotly to render online without purchasing an account, but you should be able to create more basic graphics in Plotly and publish them online using a free account if you'd like. So this next section is looking at the univariate midlinear model for Trump support and education, and this is just going to be a refresher on what a univariate model says. So you've seen this model before. We're saying that Trump's shift can be estimated using the line 0.36 times percent high school degree or less minus 15.776. And that defines this orange line. And I'm going to keep that orange throughout this presentation because in fact it's going to end up being this orange line in the Plotly graph. What this means is that for every 1% increase in undereducated residents of the county, there is a 0.3% and 6% increase in the shift of support towards Donald Trump in 2016 relative to Mitt Romney. Remember, this is a difference that we're calculating here. So what that means more practically, and it's always useful to interpret this stuff a little bit more concretely in terms of saying a county with 20% of the population without any college experience, high school degrees or less, so looking at this part of the graph, saw a 5% lower shift towards Donald Trump relative to Romney. What this basically means is that they shifted towards Clinton. And basically, highly college-educated counties tended to vote more for Clinton than they voted for Obama, which is kind of fascinating. A county where 70% of the population doesn't attend college, so a very poorly educated county, and so we're looking on this side of the graph, saw close to a 10% shift in voting for Trump relative to voting for Romney. So undereducated districts, counties, are increasingly voting for Donald Trump. So that's the univariate regression. The next section is going to be visually connecting that univariate regression to the multivariate model.